G'day everyone, my name's Sam. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. In today's practice, we are going to be working on building strength. We will be using the blocks, working on pushing away from the floor, and also working through some longer holds to try and build some resilience and to get a little bit uncomfortable. And on the other side of that, hopefully to build a little bit of mental fortitude and physical strength as well. So 2 blocks will be a necessity in today's practice. Once you've got them, we'll get right into it. So we're actually going to get started today's practice standing. If you set up your blocks on the lowest side towards the top edge of the mat and have them as wide as your mat, because we are going to be having our chest moving through the center of those blocks. Then we'll come up towards standing and try and find a balance to our breath, balance to our energy in Tadasana. So I'm turning myself to face you, but if you just stand towards the top of the mat, you'll be able to find a little bit of stability, a little bit of grounding there as well. Move through the feet for just a moment. Allow yourself to stand up nice and tall. Know that there will be work involved in today's practice and be okay with that. Take an in-breath. Let it out. Now from your Tadasana, feet between the hands, we'll use the next inhale to reach the arms up and overhead. So breathe in. As you exhale, we'll fold over the thighs, taking the hands to rest against the blocks. And lifting the chest up halfway on the inhale, spine is long. From here, step back towards a plank. We're going to keep the hands on the blocks if we can. A little bit more length underneath the hands there. It's going to give us a little more range of motion when we start to make our way through our push up. So we lean forwards, we bend the elbows graze past the rib cage, chest touches the floor, then we press straight back up. Nice one. Lowering down towards the belly. Let the fingers hang off the top edge of the block here, and as you lift for Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose, imagine you're pulling the blocks to the back of the mat to allow a little more of a broadening and opening across the chest and the front of the shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, drop the head. And tuck the toes, press up. And we'll come back to our first downward facing dog. Now let's hang the heels off what is now the back edge of your block. And then imagine you're pushing the blocks forwards to carry the tailbone up a little bit higher. Not essential to have the heels down here. In fact, a little rise of the heels and a bend of the knees is going to give you a little more length at the back of the hamstring, towards the top of the hamstring there. Next, inhale, lift high on the toes. Start to walk forwards towards the top of the mat with all that new space underneath the hands. You'll have more room to ground the feet between the hands. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, fold over the thighs, let the head drop. And roll up through standing. Next inhale, we'll reach the arms overhead. As you exhale, pull hands through center. Let your arms rest down, reset in Tadasana. Then moving again, the inhale is the climb. The exhale is the descent. Rising halfway, breathe in. If you can remember, step the opposite foot back first this time. We always tend to favor one side. If we can remember to do them both evenly, it might help us with some imbalances or some preferences we may have. Leaning forwards, chest finds the floor as you make your way through the push-up. Press straight back up. And then again, lowering down. Fingers off the top edge. Pull through Bhujangasana. Blocks are moving energetically towards the back of the mat to lift the chest. Exhale, we soften. Tuck the toes. Press up and back. You can rest the heel of the hand off the back edge again. Maybe hear the heels get a little flatter for just a moment. Then shift up high on the toes. The choice is yours. If you would like to take a slightly more energetic approach, you can take a gentle hop towards the top of the mat, trying to land the feet gently between the hands. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, we fold. So moving a little more fluidly, inhale, arms climb over the head. Exhale, Tadasana. With breath, inhale, climb. Exhale, descend. Inhale, halfway lift. If you're taking a more active approach, you can hop the feet back to Chaturanga. Once we come to Chaturanga, we are going to lower the chest to the floor and find that push up again. So set the hands, inhale, we rise. Exhale, hop back, Chaturanga. Chest to floor, push up. And then take it down, Bhujangasana. Fingers off the top edge, blocks energetically moving backwards. Breathe in. Exhale, we soften. Tuck the toes. We press up and back. Once we get there, right foot's going to shuffle a little closer to the left. Let's reach the left leg up. As we do, roll the hip open, bend into the knee, and imagine you're pressing your left heel to the right-hand side of the room. Imagine you're pressing your left heel to the right-hand side of the room. And maybe even lift on to your left fingertips. Start to look under your left armpit here. We're really sending the breath to the inner right thigh and the left side of the torso here. Take a breath. Exhale. Take that left leg back. Nice work. We'll swap straight over, so left foot will shuffle a little closer to right. Inhale, right leg will rise. Roll the hip open. Bend the knee, this time right heel presses to the left side of the room. And give you a little more length and a little more opening through the front of that right hip. And also down through right side obliques, maybe coming onto right fingertips there, looking under the right armpit. Breathe in. And come back towards downward facing dog. Shorten the stance just a little so that the hips get a little bit higher. In a moment, an opportunity, if you will, to jump the legs between the hands. If you're newer to that, you can feel free to watch the screen for a moment. But the heels rise and the knees bend. That's the inhale. On the exhale, without jumping higher, we try to take the legs through the arms. Nice work. Slide the blocks down alongside the hips, preparing for a little bit of core work. We're not going to overthink it. We're just going to do it. So set up for Navasana. Catch the back of the hamstrings first. Get yourself up nice and tall. Then allow the legs to rise. For today, we're going to straighten the legs if we can and keep them glued together. Reach the arms alongside the body. Take a breath. Exhale, we lower. Ardha Navasana. Look at the big toes. Make sure the low back is on the ground. And then rise up. Here's the fun part. Squeeze the heels in towards the bum. Press down into the blocks to lift the bum off the mat. And then we'll lower back down. Navasana. Breathe in. Exhale, we lower. Low back is on the floor. Eyes, big toe, same height. Then we rise back up. Squeeze the heels in, press down. We lift. Nice one. We have two more of those. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hold. And then rise. Bend the knees. Press down. We lift. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, we lower. We hold. Just for a little bit longer than we'd like. And then we rise back up. Inhale. Bend the knees, press down, we lift. Nice work. Catch the ankles, roll down on to the back. We're going to set up for bridge pose. If you want, you could put the feet on to the blocks for the bridge pose. That's going to give you a little bit more height. If you struggle with allowing the hips to rise in bridge pose, the blocks might come in handy. That way you can take the hands underneath the hips here. Thumbs just at the top of the glutes, 4 fingers around the outside of the hips. Then you could imagine the thumbs were moving the flesh of the glutes down towards the back of the knees to give you a lot of lift there. And we'll gently lower down. And come off the blocks now. Just gently push them off to either side. Then once you're down on your back, we're going to reach the arms back behind us. Try to take the knees towards the armpits. So we compress, we compress, we compress, we compress. And we're going to work to rock forwards to a Malasana. Legs and arms, same time. We rise. The chest lift a little higher. The knees set just above the feet. Hip width distance apart, so a little more narrow than you would normally in a Malasana. I'm going to give you the option to take a crow pose here in a moment. If you have none to little room in front of you, shift the feet back, give yourself some more space, and then try to take the knees nice and high on the back of the arms. Try to keep the legs and the arms connected, the ribs and the thighs connected. As you lean forwards, lift the feet. Let's flex the feet for today and press the heels together. Draw the elbows in. Because your feet are prepared to land in chaturanga, so too your arms. What we do is extend the legs back, but we do that on an exhale so we can brace through the core. Take a breath in. Exhale, legs move back. Take that push up. Nice work. Come down on to the belly. Pull through Bhujangasana. Inhale. Exhale, this time press back to child's pose. Nice one. Pushing in to the hands. Trying to get nice and small. Dropping your head for just a moment. We'll make our way up towards downward facing dog. You might want to block in a moment, keep them close, never push them out of the way. As we come to downward facing, inhale's going to reach the right leg just straight up and back. Lift high on the left toe, pull the right knee to chest, roll forwards. We're going to step the right foot between the hands. Now set the legs up for warrior two, drop the back heel down. Going to take a little test here. Once the legs are set for warrior two, see if you can bend your right elbow and let your right elbow touch the floor inside the right foot. If it doesn't make it down, grab a block, you put that underneath the right hand. Otherwise, you press the right palm flat onto the floor. You find Pajva Konasana, side angle pose. Left arm reaches straight up to the ceiling, option 1. Option 2, circle the left arm towards the front of the room, look under the left armpit. Option 3, left arm behind the back, right arm around the back of the leg, we find a bind. If you're in the bind, the chest is still lifting to the left-hand side of the room. You still want the left shoulder to stack on top of the right. You're still finding lots of depth in that right leg. Breathe in. And release the hands. We're going to walk over towards the left foot. Going towards Skandasana, so toes are wider than the heels. Sit deep in the left leg. Use the hands for support to start with. If you can, find a little more depth at the right. Toes lift off the mat. And sit deep in the left leg. Now, I like to use the hands for support here. Focus is more of an external rotation or an opening through this right inner thigh and a stretch through the inner thigh as well. So you can use your hands wherever you need to. Take a breath. And we look towards the top of the mat. We're going to come back through warrior two legs, and then we're going to find one of our blocks. Going to move in front of the right foot as we prepare for half moon. We resist the urge to jump. Notice I've got my left fingertips on the floor here. Shift forwards, back leg rises off the mat. You flex the left toes towards the face. Maybe you reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. If you feel comfortable, you stay there, gaze is down. Or you bend the left knee. You press the left heel towards the right side of the room to feel a little more opening. Maybe you reach the left arm back and search for the ankle. If you've got hold of it, you kick it away from you. And bow, open the front of the body. Take an inhale. If you've got the ankle, try to come back through half moon, extend the leg back behind you gently. A little bit of the wobbles there, that's good. And then from here, this next part is fun. The left leg's going to stay straight. You're going to close the hips, extend the left leg out in front of you as you bend the right knee to sit down onto the floor. Nice work. Cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. Adjust your hips and then fold forwards just a wee little bit. Keeping both of the feet flexing. Allowing the breath to slow down. And in a moment, we're going to work to pick up this right leg. You could use your hands around the knee and the foot, or if you have the space, you could use the inner eyes of your elbows. Whatever you choose, both feet are going to remain flexed, and that left leg is really firm and straight. I want you to imagine that you are pushing that left heel out in front of you through dirt or into a wall, so you know that leg is engaged. I'm going to give you an option here to lower down onto the back, but I want you to imagine that this was a core body exercise. You're trying to lower down slowly whilst still keeping the left heel on the floor. Nice one. So you're bringing that right leg a little closer towards you, still pushing that left heel out in front of you. Maybe you turn back over the right shoulder, let the right shoulder get a little bit heavier. Now, same way we came down, we get back up. You square the chest, left heel stays glued to the floor. Without overthinking it, we rise back up. Nice one. Place the right ankle on the left thigh again. Little fold for just a moment. And then we let the chest lift. Right foot is flat outside the left thigh. We find a twist, right arm behind the back, left arm rises, breathe in. Exhale, we hook the elbow outside the thigh to allow yourself to twist back over your right shoulder. Unravel the twist over the left-hand side, fingertips to the floor, bend the elbows, and drop the chest. Nice one. We'll rise back up. I'm going to set the right foot flat on the inside of the left thigh. Just as we got down before, see if we could lift the bottom without using the hands. And then trying to take this left leg back to a lunge, squeeze the heel into bum, little press off the right foot to take the left leg back. Nice one. Palms press flat. Take the right leg back to meet the left. Push up, chest to floor. Going down onto the belly. Pull through. Bhujangasana. Exhale to take it back. Downward facing dog. We get there, inhale, left leg rises, straight up and back. Climb high on the right toes, pull the left knee through to chest, roll forwards, step the foot. Prepare the legs for warrior two. Again, that little opportunity to challenge. See if left elbow could tap the floor inside the left leg. The sound effect helps there too. If it doesn't quite, you just put a block underneath the left hand, otherwise arm against the leg, press together, right arm rises. Option one, arm lifts straight up. Option two, right arm forwards. If it's available, right arm behind the back, left arm around the back of the leg to come towards the spine. Sitting deep into that left leg. And chest still turning to the right hand side of the room. Last breath in. Releasing bind. Walking over towards the right leg. Toes wider than heels. Right knee bends. Sitting into that Skandasana for a moment to see what that feels like. Then if you have the space, left toes lift off the mat. We sit a little deeper. Use the hands for support. What this is doing is just preparing that front leg for the half moon that we're about to come to. So it's more about just the toes turning up to the ceiling, the foot flexing towards you. So this is why I'm using hands for support here. Plus, sometimes it's nice just to use support. Coming around to the top of the mat, left foot's going to come through the shape of Warrior Two. We find a block again. Without jumping, use the right fingertips for support. Lean forwards. Back leg lift, flex the right toes towards the face. Let that hip start to roll open. Maybe you reach the right arm up. And be okay if we just stay here. This is plenty. There's more. You bend the right knee, but you press the right heel towards the left side of the room. So you come in to the back bend shape first. And then, if it's there for you, reach back. Catch hold of the ankle, and then kick the shin away from you. Such a powerful position, this Chapasana. Powerful but shaky. You got hold of the ankle, try to come back through half moon. Then nice and easy, that little challenge again. I'm going to close the hips. Right leg's going to extend out in front of you as you bend the left knee to lower down towards the floor. We've done it. We're on the floor now. Across the left ankle on the right thigh. Both feet are flexed. Little fold over the thigh for a moment. And choosing your weapons to pick up this left leg, elbows or hands. Both legs are straight. Chest is working to square. No, sorry, both legs are not straight. Left knee is absolutely not straight. Both feet are flexed. You're trying to push your right heel into an imaginary wall, trying to flex the right thigh muscles as best you can. And then if you're lowering down onto the back, you try to do that with care to keep the right heel on the ground the whole time, and then you push the heel out in front of you as you come back to your depth. Maybe looking over the left shoulder as though the left knee was trying to get a little lower to the floor. Take an inhale. Square the chest to the front of the room. All the same activity we used to get down, but we do it in reverse. We rise back up. Return the left ankle onto the right thigh. Little fold there for just a moment. And then we lift. Left foot rests outside the right thigh. Left hand behind the back. Right arm rises. Breathe in. Exhale, we hook. And we twist. See if you can still keep that right foot flexing. It's always best to keep your mind active, and I know I say this all the time if we practice together, but the feet are the furthest thing away from the brain. Easy to forget about. Takes a little more awareness to remember. Last breath in the twist. Exhale, twist you more. We unravel through center. Take the hands off to the right, bend the elbows, just let the chest lower down there. Nice one. Once we rise, one last little bit of strength before we work on some more strength later on. Left foot to the inside of the right thigh. We try to lean forward, see if the hips can lift without using the hands. You squeeze right heel to bottom. Try to take the right leg back towards the lunge. Palms press flat. Step back towards the plank. One last push up here, lean forwards, and the elbows, chest to floor. Press it up, then come through. Bhujangasana, inhale. Exhale, Malasana, child's pose. Nice one. We're so close. Tuck the toes under. I'm going to lift the hips on top of the knees. If you've practiced with me just the last few videos, I think maybe we've done it once or twice. I'm going to work on some levitation. We're going to try and keep our hips in extension, so the front of the pelvis is moving forwards because we're flexing the glutes super tight. And we're imagining that from the shoulders down to the knees is going to stay in one long line. So in a moment we're going to lean back, but the hips are going to stay pressing forwards the entire time. So I like to reach the arms out in front. Imagine you're holding blocks in your palms. You can, if you want to, hold blocks in your palms. We'll do it 5 times. First one's not going to be the lowest, but the 5th one is. Take a breath. With the exhale, lean your back. If you've never done it before, just hold it for a moment. Then keep the hips pressing forwards as you lift up. Nice one. Breathe in. Exhale, number 2. We lean back. And then we rise. Inhale at the top. Exhale for 3. So you hold in the space that is most uncomfortable for just a little bit longer than you would like. And then you rise. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Take it back. The mind's natural reaction when something is uncomfortable is to stop it. But if there's growth on the other side of it, my suggestion would be to try to linger in it and then rise. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. We take it back. If we always did what was comfortable and what was easy, we'd never get anything new. We'd never grow. We'd never learn. We'd never struggle. We'd never fail. We'd never succeed. Take a breath again. Exhale, we press back up. Hands find the mat. Lift the knees off the mat and set the heels down. Get nice and small for just a moment before we set the bum down. Extend the legs out nice and long. Have the heels just as wide as the mat. Flex the feet, keep the thighs engaged, reach the arms out in front. Take an inhale. Let the exhale lower you down. Using all that core body awareness and strength we use throughout the practice to take us down towards the relief that is Shavasana. Letting breath slow down. Being proud of our efforts. Making our way through this strength building practice. We reap the rewards. The reward is a little more clarity of the mind, a little more awareness of the breath, a little more free movement, freedom and space in the body. As always, I thank you so much for practicing. Stay as long as you can. Peace.